Tonight we're going to see how to fill in the form for the annual report, for the lessons learned report. And we're going to jump straight to the agenda. We're going to see an introduction, then how to fill in the form, then the visualization of the database, a preview, and then we'll make a simulation of uploading the information. So let's jump to the introduction, part 1. Why are we asking for you to fill in this information? Well, with this information, we're going to prepare the annual impact report, but also the impact results, challenges, and lessons learned document. The one that you may have seen that there was a video of an overview of the document, where we share how was our operation during the year from the different units, from different countries, different projects. We find similarities, differences, points in common where sharing our knowledge can be useful for projects that are, let's say, in another part, something that may have come up in Ethiopia that is a similar challenge to something that is going on in the Philippines, and maybe we can learn from the way they faced the challenge and they overcame that situation. So that is very important on one side. The other part is knowing the depth and width of our impact. Here we got 5.7 million, but also what does this 5.7 million mean? We can understand in some projects how deep it was the impact by sharing success stories and showing not only us but also our other stakeholders and the potential donors what we are capable of. So in terms of thinking of getting more funding for a specific project or opening another project, it's good to share this kind of overviews showing our impact to external stakeholders such as donors or implementing partners. So what we are asking now in this information collection is the impact report survey. That are the questions that you have received the link. In that survey, we are asking for you to attach the last annual report of 2025 of the project. Each project may have a different time schedule, may have reported in November, in December. Maybe there wasn't an annual report up to this point, and there was a midterm report. And I see there is people in the waiting room. Okay. So if or the latest annual report directed to donor is not finished yet, well, the last one that you have finished, it can be a mid-year review, mid-year report. And yes, is there a question?
Opo, annual report.
Susan, do you have any question? Hello.
So sorry, we're talking about Miss Yudmaita. So sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, welcome, Susan. The last annual report that was, there is a mistake there, annual with just one N. Annual report that was sent to the donor, okay? It doesn't matter if it is produced in December, November, just the last one, because we are going to review all the inputs that you send on the formula and try to harmonize some of those inputs. So we need to know a little bit more the logic on how was it reported to donor, okay? Then we are asking for success stories and pictures. That will be another part of the impact report survey. We've got the questions. We are asking for some attachments like the latest annual report, the success stories and pictures. And we are going to jump straight to filling in the form, okay? These are generalities of the form, okay? It has 6 sections. We have to complete each section with information referred to last year. If there is a red asterisk next to the question, it means that that question is mandatory. So you have to write, you have to complete the answer, otherwise you won't be able to submit the formula. However, if a question or a field is not applicable because, for instance, today in the morning there was a project that is on the inception phase. So there are a couple of fields that, well, the project doesn't have any impact yet because it's at the beginning. So what you will have to do is write not applicable in order for the form to let you submit the information. Otherwise, it will send you back and ask to complete that part because it's a mandatory field, okay? So if there is a red asterisk, it's mandatory and you have to complete it. Otherwise, you won't be able to submit. The deadline for completing this information is February the 9th, okay? So these are the 6 sections of the survey. The first one is general information about the project. The second one is the impact and the outcomes. The third is related to challenges and lessons learned. The fourth is cross-cutting themes that are gender, inclusion, people with disabilities, and climate change. And then in the 5th section, we've got communications, pictures, and success story. And we are going to stop in that section particularly today. So you can see how to complete that section. That is the one that asks for the attachments. And finally, we've got recommendations and moving forward. Okay, so these are the 6 sections. Now we are going to jump to the section number 5 because the other sections are quite straightforward. The only thing that they have to be completed with information related to last year, to 2025. Section 5, okay, communication, pictures, and success story. The success story we're asking has to be between 300 and 600 words and has to be a real example of a positive change resulting from the project, okay? It has to be focused on a person or a group that was benefited by the project, okay? The success story has to be related to the beneficiaries, not to any other particular person from the project, not from our organization, has to be focused on the group that was benefited, okay? Can be a person or can be the group, okay? There are some tips for writing this success story that is relatively brief. It's between 300 and 600 words. So some of the tips are the following. You have to be specific and describe who was involved, what challenge they faced, and how the project helped them. Show the change, the before and the after, what has improved in that person or in that community or in that group. Be human, which means to include real details and direct quotations if possible. However, in the next part, we're going to ask you to fill in with some quotations. Be respectful, which means that the story has to be empowering and accurate. And also avoid the use of real names of beneficiaries in order to protect them, not to expose them, okay? So, quotations. Now we have already passed the success story. The quotations can be related to this success story. It would be preferable to have them related to the success story. We're asking for one mandatory quotation, which will have the red asterisk, that has to be from a direct beneficiary, saying the project has helped me in these ways, or whatever the beneficiary expresses. And you've got fields for two more quotations that are optional, okay? The one that is mandatory that has the red asterisk is regarding the beneficiary. The other two can be from a beneficiary or another stakeholder, can be an implementing partner, a donor, okay? But they are not compulsory. Tips for quotations. Using direct quotes from the person or group featured in the story, with their consent always. Keep it short. It has to be 1 or 2 sentences, very, very short quotation. In general, we're asking for you to write directly their own words. Sometimes it needs some editing. We're going to try to keep the editing the least the possible. Of course, we may have to edit some things because of grammar structures, okay? But try to edit the least possible. Adding context if needed, and also respecting dignity and privacy, okay? Never include sensitive information. Then, always in section number 5, we're going for the photos. We're asking for 3 photos to be attached, okay, with brief captions. Since the pictures have already been taken, these are tips for selecting the pictures from the repository you may have. We're going to try to send pictures that show the person or the group in action, okay? But avoiding it to be very staged. Sometimes it can be staged in the case that there is this handing in something like a diploma or something like that, but not something that looks like someone is working and it's obviously not working. In general, you can perceive when the actions are natural or not. And of course, always pictures that have been taken with consent can be a verbal consent or can be written consent using natural light, and avoid blurry or dark images, okay? And always respect privacy and dignity of the people that appear in the pictures. Finally, we are asking in the section 5, well, this is what we've been talking in the first part, the latest report that you have sent to a donor that shows the information of the project, okay? You will fill in the information, but always try, please, to attach the latest report. It doesn't matter if it was produced in December, November, just send the latest one in order to complement all the narrative when we are processing the information that has been sent by you, okay? Then the part 3, which is the visualization of the database. This is mainly for the managers that will ask access to see the information that has been filled in. If you're interested in having access to the database, please send me an email so I can send you a link. You will receive a link from JotForm, and when you click in that link, it will appear something like this, where they ask you to log in. You can do it with Google. For instance, in this case, I logged in with Google. Then they will send you a validation code to your Gmail or your IRR mail, okay? And then you will have access to the database. The database will be accessed only as visualization, okay? Here you will see in each row, there will appear the inputs from each project, okay? So you will be able to see not only the inputs from the Philippines, but also from Ethiopia, from Uganda, from all the programs, okay? However, this is only a review, okay? A preview, sorry. Because when when we are preparing the report, we will process a lot that data in order to be more accurate. Okay, so those numbers may not be the ones that appear or that are going to be summed up or added up in the impact report, in the final impact report. They will be harmonized, they will be homogenized, and that's why we're asking also the latest report to be annexed in order to understand much better the logic of where those numbers come from. So this will be the last part, that is the simulation of filling in the form. Okay. Now, let me stop sharing here, and I'm going to open this, where is it? Here. Okay. Share. Okay. You have received this email from me a couple of days ago, and here is the link to the job form. Has everybody sees annual impact report, this job form? Do you see it? Okay, there I see a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Okay, first of all, we've got the project name. Can be, for instance, this, People Center Food System, project code. Thematic pillar. Thematic pillar is one of the 5 pillars of ARR. For instance, here should be food systems. Primary program. Well, since some of our programming has a lot of, let's say, components that may be, for instance, food security, but also agriculture, because we have integrated programming. Well, we're asking just only the primary one, okay, the primary program. Of course, it may have components of agriculture, may have components of enterprise development, for instance, but we're asking only for the main, the core of the project. Then the implementing office, Cambodia, Philippines, Uganda, Regional Center for Asia, or Africa Regional Center. Specific location can be Sun, and write the specific location, the municipality, the cities. Project start date, project end date. This is very straightforward. Project manager name, email. Well, here, implementing partners. Implementing partners are not the donors, okay? Implementing partners are community-based organizations, other NGOs that work with us on the field or with technical assistance, but not the donors, okay? Funding partners are the donors, okay? So here is, I see there is a hand raised. Sheila, yeah.
Yes, hello, Humberto. I'm just
Hello.
wondering if you have multiple sites because there's only one site.
Multiple sites here, you can write them.
So you just put some comma for
Yeah,
each
yeah,
of
yeah.
the sites.
Yeah. Silang, like this. You can. Is it right? Is it clear?
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for the question. You guys, if you have another question, please ask. Don't hesitate in raising the hand. Anyway, I will leave some time at the end for more questions, but please don't hesitate in raising the hand as Sheila did. So, key achievements. Okay, here you can write a paragraph summarizing the most significant results. Then, as last year, we are asking for the number of direct beneficiaries. This is only a number, but we're asking, what do you consider a direct beneficiary in your project? The same questions are for indirect beneficiaries. If you have some, or if you don't, you can write 0. And as you remember, if there is a red asterisk, you will have to write something here. Could be not applicable if you believe there are no indirect beneficiaries. In general, there are indirect beneficiaries, but this is just an example for you to see that every field has to be completed, okay? In general, all the projects have indirect beneficiaries. Then the total number of beneficiaries, that is the sum of indirect and direct beneficiaries. Then these are the key indicators of the project, the ones that you have reported, let's say to the donor, the indicators of the project. So you can write here, for instance, here I have this example that actually is not an outcome indicator, it's an output indicator. And we're asking in general for outcome indicators, okay? For instance, one outcome indicator could be total, let's say, income, or let's say increase in income in household income, okay? Then we have to fill in the baseline value, the target value, and the achieved. Here, the three of these are values, and if you have any comments. If you don't have any comments, you just write not applicable. Yes, Sheila.
Yeah, I put it on the chat box.
Oh,
This is for the summary or the total beneficiaries, direct and indirect. There might be a situation that the direct beneficiaries do not have the same unit with the indirect beneficiaries.
sorry,
There's this.
I didn't understand the question.
Yeah, for 2.6, you wanted us to total, to have the consolidated figure, right?
Yeah.
This is open figure.
Yeah, this is
But what
indirect
if,
plus direct.
yeah, but what if the unit for the direct beneficiary is different from the indirect beneficiary? For example, my direct beneficiaries are schools or teachers, but the indirect beneficiaries are students. You cannot sum it together, right?
Well, that is why we are asking. That is a very good question, Sheila. That is why we are asking for the latest report, okay? And we are asking here how the indirect beneficiaries are defined. We are adding up just to have, let's say, a very brief overview on the total number. But this number, of course, it won't be the one that will be presented in the impact report. Why? Because of what Sheila asked. Because there is not the same criteria for a direct beneficiary and an indirect beneficiary. So it will be like summing up apples and oranges that are different things, okay? So that's why we are asking here how the indirect beneficiaries are defined, how the direct beneficiaries are defined. Because, well, since there is not homogeneity in all our programming, in all our projects, maybe there are some projects at Ethiopia that may consider an indirect beneficiary, while a very similar intervention in Cambodia considers it as a direct beneficiary. Okay, so that's why we're asking, what do you consider a direct beneficiary? How are direct beneficiaries defined? How are indirect beneficiaries defined? Okay, that is a key information. Then here it's just very, for, let's say, for anyone that accesses the database and wants to know more or less very briefly without checking anything, what is the total number, okay? But of course, it's, as you mentioned, this total number up to this point doesn't make sense, okay? It's just adding up this number and this number. But actually, that is the processing that I'll be doing with all the information. Okay, so that is a very, very good question. Thank you, Sheila. Yes, and it makes a lot of sense. But I put this global, let's say, aggregation to have a very rapid overview without checking, without any rigor. But this won't be the number. Of course, it won't be the number. Okay?
Yeah, if that's the case, should we put not applicable or we just sum it together?
You can just sum it together, but then, of course, I'll be processing all the data. So don't worry. This column is meant mostly for managers or at high level, at program level or country director, if they want to see very briefly the total of beneficiaries. However, that's why I'm saying you will have access to visualize the database, but that database still needs a lot of processing before coming to the final number, okay? So that is more or less to see where we are, but that won't be the last number, okay? So this the following section is the section 3, where you'll be asked about the challenges, how those challenges were addressed, if you have learned any lessons from the challenges or from other things of the project, something that may not have been a challenge, but something that was surprisingly good and very effective, you want to share with all our staff. Here, section 4 is cross-cutting themes, gender and inclusion, vulnerable populations, indigenous people, people with disabilities, other groups, climate smart and environmental sustainability. And this is section 5, the one that we have already been talking. That is the one that asks for the success stories. Here, 300 to 600 words, with the recommendations that were presented in the PowerPoint. Then here the quotation. You remember there was one compulsory quote, direct quote from a beneficiary. Then this is not compulsory, the second and the third one. Then the project photos, where you can upload here the project photos. For instance, you can take, well, for instance, where do we have a picture? $. Okay, logo. You can drop the file here, or you can browse the file. Okay, you can click here, browse file, and look for it in your directory. This picture was taken with informed consent. This is important. And the caption for each picture. Okay, this is a picture of, let's say, this is a picture of Umberto delivering training, an internal training on filling in the form. Okay, that is kind of a caption to understand much better the picture. Then this was a new included question by another country that was interesting, if there was any communication strategy targeting donors, beneficiaries, implementing partners, and other stakeholders. This wasn't presented last year. This wasn't asked. And here is also the latest report that was sent to a donor. You can browse it from your directory or just drop it there. And well, that's it. We've got the recommendations. So moving forward, if there are any opportunities or scale-up opportunities you suggest, or you have any comments or information that you want to share with us, maybe regarding this process, regarding the project, regarding anything that could improve our programming and our operations. So now it comes the time of questions, comments. Was everything clear? I guess so. I will take
Will you be
silence as, yeah.
will you be sharing your presentation, Humberto?
Yeah. Also, I will. This is being recorded, so I'm going to upload the video as well. And Sheila, I believe you sent me an email and I haven't responded yet.
Yeah, we have some corrections on the latest impact report for 2024,
Oh yeah, it
2025.
was. Well, I will reply to you.
Yep, thank you.
So, any other questions, comments? Everything is clear on my end, I think. Okay.
Just
Yeah.
so maybe for the photo, we could also add some like photo credits in case we are not the one who took the photo. I
You
think
can
it's
write
also
that in the caption area. You
okay
can
on the
write
description.
yeah, let me see here. Caption of the picture to here, for instance, this picture of Humberto delivering an internal training on filling the form taken by International Rice Institute or web can be. Okay?
Yes.
There are any other comment? Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'll be uploading this. I believe I'm going to upload it to YouTube or now that I am using that tool, or I will ask Myra if there are any other tools to share this with you. For the moment, YouTube is the one that I know. So thank you very much and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing.
Good
Bye.
day.
Have a good day, everyone.